The fans are ready, 22,000 strong. And the hitman, Tommy Hearns, has got to love a series like this.
And then at the end of the game, a fan, unfortunately, gets involved, and Caron Butler comes back.
To the free throw line a lot, and really was a difference maker in this game.
Later, a little madness, Greg.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana showed signs of last year where the frustration is starting to set in when they're not playing the way they're capable of, and that's not a positive sign if you're Rick Carlisle, because you got to stay in control emotionally. Still a lot of basketball yet to be played. You can't afford to get kicked out of the series.
Very interesting. You pointed that out, Greg. Very interesting. I'm serious because you think about how they got romped by Boston in the first round last year. I'm just saying, it's real interesting. We kept talking about changes. Hey, seeing some of that old familiar stuff.
Artest is like a schoolyard bully. He just hits you when you walk around him. I mean, he does. Pestering and giving you shots. And
that's what I was trying to tell you. His rookie year, I thought he was crazy, but that's his. That's part of his game.
But he's toned it down. Last year he missed 12 games due to the suspension, some by the team themselves, some for running over TV cameras, for just about everything. And this year, he's been a much more under-control player.
Look at the way Rodman used to get inside people's heads. Ron Artest is pretty much the same way.
Here he comes. And there he goes. Artest will go long ball and knocks down the three. Wow.
I'm amazed by that guy's game. I really am. You said it a while back, Brad. He just, defensively, he's everywhere. He's got his hands. He's out there blocking shots, and he comes down and nails a three. So, complete player. Oh, he just gave Caron Butler a shot in the chin, just for good measure.
Artest has 19 points. And he almost, and does, come up with a steal on Wade. And then Butler grabs it as he was en route to a slam dunk.
And anywhere the ball is loose around Ron Artest, he's going to come up with it.
Oh, now
Caron saying, hey.
Artest backing away. Officials get in between them. And they're still talking.
Caron Butler's a strong player, but Ron Artest has got to have 20 pounds on him.
Jones fronting Reggie Miller with a steal. And now we got a pile up of bodies under the basket. It all started with what I'm sure is going to be a flagrant foul. Rick Carlisle's out there, and here comes a little extra security as well.
This is the Miami Heat I know and love.
There you go.
That's how you guys played every game.
I think we're back in the New York series.
Dan Van Gundy trying to cool off Eddie Jones. You notice everyone was in that pile-up except Ron Artest is standing up by the three-point line.
I'm just glad I didn't see Stan hanging off somebody's leg like his brother Jeff.
All the security people now have kind of ringed the court here, at least momentarily. You'll see Jones on the breakaway, and Tinsley comes over to wrap him up. And that's what started it off.
Yeah, that was frustration. That was a little excessive.
Well, thankfully, cooler heads prevailed. These guys understand any punch is thrown, they're not playing in Game 5.
That's about the time Rick Carlisle showed up, and Malik Allen. This could take the next 2 minutes to completely sort out for you. Here's the flagrant foul on Tinsley. And he's been kicked out of the game as well.
I wonder if Warren Sapp liked the technique.
Clock is going to have a high pick and roll tomorrow.
There's the pick. Oh, now Ron Artest with a tackle. I'm not sure he meant that one, but he sure took Mr. Wade off his feet. And the fans don't like that at all. And Dwayne Wade's not crazy about it.
Well, this series all of a sudden has gotten very interesting. You see him going hard to the hole, and Artest just wraps him up another. We were talking about Warren Sapp, Sean. He's going to check this out. I just said nice tackle.
Sets up to Rick Carlisle.
Probably said move, I can't see.
Wade got one of two.
Now, he liked that technique. I'm telling you, what did I say? Ron Artest could have been a linebacker.
Thought he was there.
Is that Milli Vanilli?
As he met with the media this afternoon, Phil Jackson laughed, looked around and said, quote, Donald Rumsfeld thinks he has it tough? I have to do this every day. Gary Payton, meanwhile, not as cordial. He's upset with the media and the way they've portrayed his matchup against Tony Parker in this series.
Let me get in a pick and roll 65 times, and I bet I'll beat you too. You know, so I don't like writers when they talk about, oh, he beating you all the time, he beating you all the time. Okay, yeah, you get out here and you play the pick and roll and see how many times he beat you.
All right, well, Stephen A., I'll let you defend all the writers in the world. You get out there and play the pick and roll. See how many scores on you.
First of all, I was never half as talented as Gary Payton, so I don't have a snowball's chance, and you know what. This is the glove we're talking about, a perennial all-star, a future Hall of Famer. Anytime you're going up against a guy and he seems to be having his way, the media is going to point that out. Right. You are the basketball expert on this show. Is the media wrong when they point out that Parker is getting the better of Gary Payton? Are we exaggerating?
A little bit, only from this standpoint. No, really. He's dominating.
He was waiting on that. He wanted you to co-sign.
Exactly. He's dominating the matchup, but it's a team. The pick and roll, we talked about it. That's what makes it tough to guard, because the entire team has to guard the pick and roll, and right now they don't give hit. Remember, he gets picked on a pick and roll.
We get that, but that is not what you said earlier. That's all I'm saying.
He's getting the better of it. What did I say?
That's all I'm saying. That's all we're saying.
Put out what I said.
But that's all we're saying. The media, that's all we're saying.
Okay.
That's all we're saying. Nothing else.
I'm going to tell you what.
Okay.
We're going to go back to the game, but boy, are things going to be good in the break here. Your boy just called you out.
Little run, and then Robert Traylor is called for a technical foul here. The words, he is eventually called for another tee and ejected.
I thought this team had a legitimate chance when I came here and signed. We had a lot of injuries, but I thought we could have got through this round. We matched up pretty well against Indiana, even though they're a great team. I thought we had a good chance of going up there and being competitive against them.
There was a lot of garbage written the last few days. I mean, Kevin Garnett took 8 years to win a playoff series. He's the MVP this year. And Lamar Odom now was supposed to, it was on him to pay back his contract on 1 Game 7 tonight. Okay? And I just thought a lot of what was put on our guys wasn't very fair. And I'm reading their press. They didn't put anything on them. How many guys in that locker room have won a Game 7? I'll tell you exactly how many. George Lynch, twice with Philly in the same year. We now have a locker room full of guys who have won more Game 7s than they have.
Stan Van Gundy making his point.
The Pistons coach fined $7,500 a day by the NBA for criticizing officials. Brown felt that the officials were trying to antagonize Rasheed Wallace.
Timberwolves take on the rugged Sacramento Kings.
Even if the Nets were hitting shots from over the top, they probably wouldn't have felt good about themselves because that's not their style.
There's Rob giving the mic to Charles.
You getting on my nerves, boy. My guy,
I joked that Karl Malone is in the logging business. He spends his summers chopping down trees, and Kevin Garnett's a pretty tall tree.
Your 7 best guys, if those are the guys you trust, that's who you have to play.
Well, if the disparity between 7 and 8 is so enormous, you're right. You can only play 7, you play 7, and Christie scores. And Garnett is down. Garnett in backcourt. He never got across the line. Garnett, as play continues, very slow in getting up. And a lot of agony, and Peeler goes after him. Peeler threw 2 left elbows at Garnett.
Well, I'm going to say this. Garnett threw the first one out. Garnett threw an elbow at Peeler first, and then Peeler responded back at him. Bad play by Garnett.
Genesis here, if we can find it.
Very much like the Brad Miller and Martin play. Very much. Okay, that started it. Now when you watch them come back down the floor, see, Garnett threw the first one. To see them getting tangled up here, and Garnett kind of grabs his arm, and that's what leads to that. But, that started it. But the big play was back down on the other end.
How about the run-in between Garnett and Peeler?
Well, the altercation didn't really have much effect. If anything, we were just, trying to be a lot more aggressive. They want to play like that. We can play like that, but we know that they're not the bad boys of basketball or anything like that. We
You know, we know they're a finesse team.
I definitely think, you know, he threw the shoulder, then he tried to end it with the bow. And, you know, we're all men here, and we're trying to set example for these kids, but at the same token, you have to be fair. And if AP is going to miss tomorrow's game, then KG should. But for some reason, I don't think KG will, so AP should play too.
Chris Webber theory on this thing, Charles.
Well, I think both of them not going to play tomorrow.
No, I know.
The
next game. Come on.
Well, you know, I think obviously, hey, sometime Peeler started it, KG hit him back. But anytime you go to somebody's face or head, you should get in trouble. And that's what crossed the line. That's part of the game, but that was to this guy's head. You can't hit anybody in the head or the face.
Kenny.
Look how Kenny looks. He's been hit in the face a lot.
I've never been touched. I'm like Ali. But I tell you one thing. It looks like he'll be suspended. And who's our audio guy again?
Rob.
You know, you got your mic fixed, but he's leaving stuff out here. This is... Rob, where are you? Rob, come get your...
Quit trying to embarrass the people who work here,
I mean,
Kenny.
when they don't do their job, we got to let them know.
Rob is doing his job. He's making it possible for the world to hear
Glad
Charles.
he dressed up for work, too.
Wow, Chuck. Are you cranky today?
Oh, very.
You know,
You're cranky.
Sunday's the Lord Day. They got to dress better around here on Sunday.
Are you cranky today?
Yeah, I am cranky.
What's wrong?
Man, Tiger missed his first 9 fairways today.
I knew there was something. I knew there was something in your
How in the world could you miss 9 straight fairways? Hit a 9-iron out there just to get one in the fairway to get your confidence going.
You know, I have a feeling you're going to be much better now for postgame. You got that off your chest. You're feeling good. It's like you're 50 pounds lighter. Well, it looks like you feel better.
Missed his first 9.
Oh, yeah, take some advice from this guy, Tiger.
Hey, slow your roll.
Oh, my.
Y'all been holding that one, haven't you?
No, we've shown that.
To show you how physical it's been and how nasty it has been. This is just the last couple of games. Games 5 and 6, we've had 11 technicals. Now you get to a Game 7 situation when this has been happening. A lot of it's going to be keeping your poise as well.
Yeah, and you know, when you look at the series, too, I mean, Miami's not a real physical team, so I think New Orleans trying to take it to them. And sometimes that'll happen where you're not a real physical team. Now, Brian Grant's a real physical player, but you want to stand up for yourself. You know, you don't want to let a team run roughshod all over you. So I think, you know what I...
Things got a little chippy in the end, Stephen A.
Oh, yes, it did. I mean, you know, that pick by Karl Malone earned him a $7,500 elbow, rather, earned him a $7,500 fine. And, you know, I like it personally. Get physical with them. Doesn't bother me.
What does chippy mean?
Chippy, I don't know. We've been using chippy a lot.
It's been a pleasure to see you again, Coach. Thank you very much for being with us. And, you know, we can't let you leave without seeing one more piece of...
Oh, hold on, baby. Hold on.
That's all overdone.
I know it is, but we can only run it one more time.
though.
Yeah,
hey, but you know what? The untold story there, Larry Johnson hit me that night.
Did he really?
He got in the shot that every player that I've ever coached wanted to do.
I tell you what, they better be glad they broke this one up. This would have been a second knockout.
Yeah, Morning would have gone down.
And home court advantage. Cassell gets inside. Oh, Sam Cassell. The two-time world champion, Sam Cassell, showing his experience and leadership, gets called for a foul, his third. So Cassell, very upset. He's got to be careful as he yells at Eddie F. Rush. He felt he was fouled down the other end. And then as they came back, the two of them were bouncing around. And now we got Latrell Sprewell being the voice of reason. Technical foul. And Flip Saunders is upset. Well, he should be upset. He's losing his mind. That was a good 45 seconds after the whistle was already blown. The team has all the momentum, so Cassell picks up the technical. First, Stojakovic will shoot the one-shot technical, and then 2 free throws because Minnesota's in the penalty. But again, Cassell with 3 personal fouls. That's 60 straight now for Stojakovic at the free throw line. It's a tough call, but you're rolling. You got to let it go. That's one I don't know about, Bill. We're kind of just both jockeying for position there. They've been kind of pushing each other, shoving each other the whole way down. Perfect for Sacramento. The double team on Garnett. Bibby hit Cassell, and Cassell knocks it down. Minnesota's upset, and they have a right that time. Bibby whacked Cassell as he went by him. Now they still got the 2 points. Well, that's the first points for Minnesota in 6.5 minutes. They had missed 11 straight from the field. Miller, taken down. I don't see a flagrant call. A hard foul from Gary Trent. Rick Allen upset. I think this has to be a flagrant. Didn't see it. Well, but they grabbed him
by his torso, and the momentum, his legs just went out from underneath him. That's not a basketball play, that's a tackle.
Yeah, see, I think that defines unnecessary contact, which is a flagrant. That could have easily been called a flagrant foul. And that would have been huge because it would have been 2 shots and the ball. Instead, Miller will just shoot 2 on just a regular personal foul from Trent.
Cassell will work the referee, Sean Corbin.
Sean Corbin listening. It's not going to help Cassell's case as he picks up his 4th foul.
A couple of moments ago, it was a grab of the jersey by Mike Bibby, uncalled. Sam Cassell didn't like it.
And now it's an all-out grind. You know, I mean, it's a fight. You know, it's who wants it more.